Hey guys, Sak here from sakitech, and in today's video we will be sharing the first 15 things to do with your brand new and shiny iPhone 15 Pro Max. These tactics are going to get you the best settings to maximize your ownership. So let's dive in and get started right away. Alright, so let's start off with some appetizers, then we are going to dive into even better stuff. Alright, so the very first thing I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go to the settings. Okay, you're going to love this feature. Scroll down to accessibility, which is right here. Tap it, scroll down again, and go to audio visual. Once you're inside here, you are actually able to activate a special sound when you turn off and turn on your device. So let me show you what that sounds like now that this is actually enabled. So first, let's turn this thing off. So I'm going to press the combination here. We're going to get that slider and listen to this. Okay, so that's a beautiful turning off voice sound, I mean. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on. So let me just press and hold. And as you can see, we just heard the turning on sound. So fantastic little trick. The next feature hopefully is something that you never use, but I want you guys to activate it just in case. So go to the settings and scroll down to emergency SOS, tap on it, and make sure call after severe crash is in fact turned on. So basically, if you are in a car crash, the iPhone is able to detect that, and then after a brief countdown, it actually makes the call. So this definitely could be a lifesaver feature in that rare instance. Now it does say here, iPhone cannot detect all crashes, but at least you have it just in case. Hopefully something like that never happens. Now you're going to be spending a lot of time in the control center, which is right over here, as you can see. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you customize it properly so you have everything you need in your control center right here to access it quickly. So basically, again, you go to the settings. From top, you scroll down just a little bit and just go to control center, and you can see right now, these are the existing active controls. These are all the other options you can add if you want. So as an example, I can add the dark mode. I can add the code scanner, something you can use to scan QR codes. You can add alarm. You can add low power mode. And just to give you an idea, now what's going to look like, it's going to look like this. So there's more buttons, and we now have that QR code, the alarm, we have the dark mode right over here. So make sure you customize it to your needs. And after you have all the controls you want active, I do want to let you know that you can in fact move them up and down. So you just grab it from this dragging area and put it to the top. So when you pull this down, now the dark mode is right here, the toggle. Okay, so customize it based on your needs. You're going to be using it a lot. Now, one thing I do with all my phones, I always go to the settings, and in the main screen, I like to go to the display, which is right here, and I scroll down and I go to night shift. This is a very important feature, specifically because we look at our phones at nighttime, right before bed, all the time. So by enabling this feature towards the end of the day, you are in fact protecting your eyes. So if you look at your phone with this enabled, it's going to cause less eye strain. So you can manually enable this feature till tomorrow, or you can actually put this on a schedule. So if you know that you go to bed every night at the same time, maybe a couple hours before that, enable the night shift to activate, and that's going to reduce the eye strain on your eyes, and also is going to allow you to sleep better. So I do believe this is an essential feature. All right, the next thing that you want to do, which is very important, is you want to check the status of your battery. This is a brand new iPhone. You want to make sure that battery is at 100% capacity. So go to the settings, and then you want to scroll down just a little bit. You're going to find the battery option right here. Tap on it, and then go inside battery, health, and charging. So what you are looking for is maximum capacity to be 100%. Anything below that, that means this is not a brand new battery, and what you want to do is you want to return that iPhone and get a replacement ASAP. You can see it says right here, this is a measure of the battery capacity to when it was new. This is a brand new iPhone, so it has to be 100%, and it should say peak performance capability. Now, as we are in battery and health, you are also able to extend the battery life of your phone by simply going over here to charging optimization and make sure it is turned on. This is going to give you the least optimization. Okay, I'm going to cancel this for now. 80% is going to give you maximum optimization by limiting the battery's maximum charge to 80%. That's going to guarantee that your battery lasts as long as possible. But this one here is a nice compromise. So I would keep it right here. I think that was the default setting. But you do have the option to turn this off as well, and that's going to have a side benefit of faster charging and full capacity charging. Remember, this is going to reduce the charging speed. So the option and which compromise you want is going to be up to you. And of course, if you are environmentally conscious, you can enable this. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but looks like it is on by default. I'm going to leave that as is. But the most important part is the maximum capacity of that battery. Return it if it is even a couple points lower. All right, so next up, let's talk about that action button that is on the side of your phone that can be programmed to take specific actions. It's on the top right here. Now, what you want to do is you want to go to your settings. You want to scroll down, and you can see we have the action button menu here. Very simple to modify. Right now, it is set to be the flashlight. So if I press the action button on the side, which is right here, press and hold, it is going to turn on the flashlight. That's the way I have it set up. This is going to be great for when you are approaching something at nighttime. You cannot see what's going on. You don't have to unlock the phone. You just go like this, boom, you get the flashlight, okay? So that's great. Now, other options with the action button, if you press and hold, can be a voice memo. So you can record voice, or you can use the magnifier if that's what you want. Basically, when you have the magnifier and you press and hold the button, it launches the camera with the magnifier interface, as you can see, okay? And because the cameras are high quality, they do a good job of magnifying using macro lenses. But again, this is going to be all up to you, and you can see we have the shortcut button, so you can run any shortcut with the action button. You can access accessibility features. And then if I go over here, we talk about the voice memo. You can launch the camera, which is also going to be a very popular option. And you can use the focus mode, and you can also default it to what it used to be before the action button was introduced. So make sure you modify this so you get the best experience for yourself. Now the next thing has to do with your phone application. So launch the phone application and go through your contacts. So find a contact that you want to use, and basically what you are able to do is you are able to change posters for your contacts. So look at this. If I tap add a photo, you can see at the bottom we have a choose your poster. You can use a still image. You can go to your photo gallery. You can go to your memojis. Okay, you can pick any emoji for the whatever contact. You can customize it as usual. Let me just give an example and give it a name and all that stuff. Even modify the font of that name for that particular contact so you know exactly who that contact is. You can see there's so many options, as you can see. Let's change the size. Okay, that's bolder, less bold, different fonts, different colors, different color intensities. Okay, so that's great. So once you're done, tap on done, and now you have a custom poster for that person. You can preview it, you can tap on continue, and then you'll be good to go. And you can even crop it where you want to use the photo portion of that poster. So look at this. If I tap on crop, I can go like this. Now that's going to be my regular contact photo, okay? But when somebody calls me, I am going to see the full poster. So that's the full poster I'm going to see when somebody calls me, and that's just the photo you're going to see on top of your contacts across your smartphone. Now one more thing, if you tap edit, you also are able to go back and customize an existing poster, or you are able to add a brand new one. As you can see, I can create a new poster and use that as I need. And you can also do monograms, so that's an option here. So just a letter and the name, and of course it is, again, as usual, with customizable background and customizable fonts, and also you can add stuff to the monogram. So that's great. Let's tap on done. Now I'm going to show you real quick. Just continue. Now I have two stuffs, so I can switch back and forth between anyone I please. So that's great for customization and changing the scenery every now and then. Now, next up, we're going to be talking about the dynamic island. So that's the Face ID self-camera area right over here. It is dynamic, and let me show you the things you can do with it. So obviously, when you launch an application, and if that application is compatible with the dynamic island, when you exit that application, it sends itself into the dynamic island, from where you can press and hold to expand it, or just tap to launch that application, and also just monitor what's going on with that. At any given time, you can also swipe to the right to make it disappear. So it is not stuck there if you don't need it, okay? But if you swipe to the left, it actually comes back, and you can see it is actually live. Now, as I have a dynamic island running in the background, let's say I launch another application. Let's go for a clock over here. Let's go to the timer. Let me set a 15-minute timer. Now when I exit, I'm going to get two dynamic islands. They're going to split into two, as you can see, okay? And again, I can press and hold the one I want to access to get a preview, or just tap on it to expand it. And also, I have swipe gestures available that allow me to modify them, as you can see, okay? So keep swiping around and you get all kinds of different options with the dynamic island. So that's the dynamic island, and it's going to be compatible with many applications across the system and the App Store. Now, I do want to let you know, if you use the dynamic island a lot, make sure you have a little cloth with you at all times, because as you take selfies, you just want to make sure you swipe that camera, the selfie camera, because as you swipe on this island and tap on it and stuff like that, it might actually get a little bit smudged. It is supposed to be resistant to fingerprint smudges, but it's best to just wipe it out with a cloth, with a microfiber cloth, to make sure you get crystal clear selfies. Now, there's a couple things you need to know about the camera to get the best possible options. So first, a simple thing, when you launch the camera and you go into the photo mode, okay, remember iPhone has now introduced the ability to switch between, to get different focal lengths even with the main camera. So you are able to tap on the 1x and switch between 28, 35, and 24 millimeter in focal length. You can see the changes happening as I tap on it, okay? And also, when you exit this and you go to the settings, you are able to go down to the camera settings and make some really important modifications. This is a very expensive camera. You want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing with it. So if you go to formats here under camera settings, you can see the default photo capture mode is in fact 24. You can go to 12, but I recommend keeping it at 24 to get the best quality. Plus, they're very fast, so that's not a problem. But you can go even further, and look at, this is what I was talking about right here, the main camera. When you tap on the main camera, you do have access to these additional, what they call is lenses. So that's 28 and 35. The default is 24 millimeters, but you can change the default to 28 or 35. But to toggle between these options, again, launch the camera and simply tap on where it says 1x. That'll get you 28, then it's going to give you 35, then it's going to give you 24. You can go back to 28, so you can cycle through. So make sure you're aware of the main camera settings. If you don't want these guys, you can disable them. Once you disable these, you're not going to be able to tap on 1x and make any changes, okay? It's just defaults to 24 millimeter option. All right, there's more over here that's very important. On the top, you want to make sure video, I would choose 1080p at 60 frames per second as my default video resolution. The higher you go, the more space your phone is going to require, but the quality of the video is going to get sharper. So 1080p is not as good as 4K at 60, but it's good enough for most applications, for social media, for sharing with people and stuff like that. Make sure enhanced stabilization is always on to get the best stability. And also, if you go back into the camera right over here, if you do go to the video mode, I want to let you know that on the top, it shows you the current video option, which is HD 60. but you are able to tap it and change it to 4K. Tap it again to HD, and you can tap on the number to change the frame rate on the go. So that's HD 30 FPS, and that is HD 60 FPS. I can tap 4K 60 or 4K 24 or 4K 30. All the options are toggleable, so to speak, right from here, okay? But the default, you pick it right over here. That's just going to be the default setting when you launch the camera and go to the video option. But from there, you can customize as is needed. Now, the final thing you want to do with the camera is you want to enable the grid and the level. Okay, make sure you do these, because now when I go to the camera application, I have a bunch of grids right here. I'm also going to get a little level here on the camera that you're going to see visually. That is going to allow you to take level photos, and the grid is going to help with the alignment of your photos. Fantastic. Let's move on. Now, one more thing that you want to enable on your phone is you want to go to your settings, you want to go into your display. There's a couple things you want to do here, but in display, I like to enable raise to wake. So when you have this one, basically if your phone is, sitting on the table like this, and you want to quickly glance at it, you just raise it, and it's going to fully wake, and you can see everything on the screen, even though we have the always on display enabled, which is great, which gives you a little glimpse anyway, but the raise to wake completely wakes up the phone. So make sure that it's enabled. Talking about the always on display, you can turn that on and off right here by tapping this button, okay? So now when I turn off the phone, it's just gonna turn off. You're not gonna see anything, okay? You gotta tap it to wake it up, or just raise to wake. However, let me show you one more thing. If you do enable this, you have two extra customizations. One, you can disable the notifications from showing, and the other, you can disable the wallpaper from showing. This is really cool, and also is going to save you battery if you disable these. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So with the wallpaper, I'm going to go to the screen right now. Clear. So I just want you guys to see exactly what it looks like. So you can see the wallpaper and the time, but no notifications right now. Now if I go back into these settings right here under display, I can enable notifications and maybe disable the wallpaper. Now it's going to look a little bit different. So look at this. So now there's no wallpaper, but the notifications will still show up. This is going to save you more battery, okay? But you only see the date and time without the wallpaper. So that's fantastic. Let's move on. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to be able to customize your lock screen, and that is great because it makes the phone yours. So there's a couple ways to get it done. One, you can go to settings, okay, and simply go into the main settings, scroll down and go into wallpaper right here. You can see this is the lock screen and this is the home screen. So you can see we have it blue and it's a different color. So what you can do is you can tap on customize on the lock screen, and then you can tap right here, change the font, change the size or the boldness, change the color as you can see. And also you can tap here and add a widget if that's what you want. So if I go here, I can just add the battery. Okay, so now I have a battery widget. Let me just add this and this just to give you an idea. So you can have a bunch of widgets. I can even tap this button here. I can disable or enable the depth effect. I can tap over here. I can automatically switch between the light or the dark mode, or I can just keep it automatic or manual, okay? And then tap on done. Now the lock screen is customized individually from the home screen. Now while you're here, you can create additional collections. So look at this. I can tap on add new wallpaper, okay? And then I have all these presets as you can see, and I can pick any one of these guys. So as an example, let's see, this one I like over here. So let's go with the color option here with some gradient. So tap on this one. Look at this, you can swipe between styles, okay? And as usual, you can tap on all these guys to modify them, okay? As you can see, tap over here to remove widgets and add different ones. So I can have clock widgets, as you can see, 1, I can have 2, I can have 3, okay, like that. So all this stuff is customizable, and you can change the color by tapping here, as you can see. Let's do the blue color, intensity a little bit stronger by swiping over, and then tap on add. Okay, now it wants you to set this up as a wallpaper pair, but you'd have the option to customize the home screen. So just tap on this one. Now we have a brand new pair, which can be individually customized by tapping on the customize button, picking different colors, gradients if that's what you want, and you can see there's so many options. Okay, tap on done. Now that is my customized collection, and then I can go like this between the two, no problem. Tap on set as current to pick the one that you like. So that's how you customize it, but keep playing, dig deeper to get even more out of it. Now if you are in the lock screen, and if the lock screen is unlocked, which it is right now, you can press and hold to activate the collections right from here as well. These are the same collections we just built on the settings, but you can build even more. Look at this. I can tap on add new, pick this one, and then start customizing this one as well, as you can see. Okay, and tap on add. So it can be done from the lock screen or from the home screen under settings right here. Fantastic. Let's move on. Now, one more feature that is really cool is when you do go to your photos, let's say you have a photo with some text on it, and this could be anything. There's a couple things you can do with that photo. So look at this. I can zoom in on the photo and just basically press and hold and start selecting that text. And then I can copy that text and just paste it or share it or whatever. You do have all these options, as you can see. Okay, now when you're looking at the photo like this, you can also tap on this little icon on the side, and that is going to basically recognize and allow you to copy all the text at once. Whatever text is on that photo will be able to copy it all at once with this, or you can do it manually with just your finger, as you can see. Okay, so text extraction is a powerful feature. You're probably going to be using that a lot. The next thing I want to quickly talk about has to do with Face ID. So go to Face ID under security. Okay, it's going to be right here. Face ID and passcode. It's going to ask you to put in your passcode, which I just did right now. I'm inside here. Make sure you enable Face ID to be used for all these options. For Apple Pay, iTunes, or App Store purchases, iPhone unlock, make sure it's fully enabled. You do have an option to set up an alternate appearance. So maybe you have a beard one week, the next you don't, or maybe you change the color of your hair. You can set that up as an alternate appearance so Face ID recognizes you easily. If you do use a mask, you can use Face ID with a mask. Just enable this option. When you enable the option, it's going to walk you through the setup process. But the biggest thing is at the bottom here, make sure require attention for Face ID and attention aware features are always enabled. This is great because if somebody tries to unlock your phone using your face while you are asleep, this is going to make sure that doesn't work. The phone is going to require that you look at the actual Face ID scanner in here to unlock it. So if your eyes are closed, it's going to know that you're not giving it the attention. So great little security feature right here. All right, so those are the first 15 things to do on your iPhone 15 Pro Max. Of course, there's much more to do, so stay tuned for more detailed videos for other features as well. These are going to get you up and running real quick with the best settings.